Wilds, it's your girl Felicity G back with another one just to let you know that today is a great day to be great. Welcome to H.E.R TV. In this space, we want to set an atmosphere where we can come together and discuss different topics in hopes to helping you along your journey to becoming her, healed, empowered, and recovered. We want to reassure young women like yourself that you are seen, loved, and heard. Through these conversations, we want to remind you that it is never too late to start over and that you are never alone. Today, I am joined with Mo Bills. I can tell you about her, but I'll allow her to tell you about herself.
Hey everybody, my name is Mo. I pretty much fall in where I can, but just a little bit about me. I'm 24. I'm in school right now. I'm working full time at the hospital. So Felicity will tell you, we've been trying to get me on this thing, but I've been so busy. So I told her not to charge it to my heart, but it's nice to meet you guys, and I can't wait to discuss.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited. You know, we had our little bumps in trying to get this together, but we're here now.
That's right.
So tonight we'll be talking about loving your neighbor. We're in the month of love. So we have to, get down to that. We have to discuss this, open this up a bit and dissect this a bit and, help us to understand how do we love our neighbors. So without further ado, before we get into our, discussion, I want you to play a game, an original game called 4 Pick 1 Song. You will have 4 pictures depicting one song, and you will have 10 seconds to tell me what song are these 4 pictures depicting.
Okay.
All right.
Let's ride.
So, the theme of the songs are gospel.
Oh, you already know this is my avenue right here. This is my avenue.
Okay. So let me know when you're ready and we can move right along.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. First picture up. Let's go.
Wait a minute. Okay, we got Jesus taking the wheel. He driving the boat. He driving the car.
The 2 ladies, the 2 persons are the artists of the song. Is the artist of the song. You literally just said the name of the song.
Jesus take the wheel?
Yeah!
Oh. Who are these females? I don't even know who they are. That looks like Carrie.
They're the same people, Carrie Underwood. You know who Carrie Underwood is?
Oh, yeah. That's why I said look like Carrie, but,
Well, at least you got it. You got it.
Yes, Jesus
Perfect.
take the wheel.
Yes. So moving right into our discussion. We always talk about loving ourselves, loving our spouse, and all things love. But when it comes to loving our neighbor, it can be kind of a touchy topic. Everybody have their own take on what it means to love your neighbor. So I want to ask you, in your opinion, what does it mean to love your neighbor?
Well, first of all, it's so many components to loving your neighbor. It's not just one specific thing. So one thing I would start off with saying is that, I'm always going to throw out a biblical thing. And that is one of the commandments that God gave us, is to love your neighbor. So if we love our neighbor, then that comes with, when they're wrong, you're stepping in and saying, hey, I love you, and this is why you're wrong. And they're able to receive that and be like, oh, okay. People get on the defense and they be like, oh, no. Yeah, I love you. You're my friend. If you're not my friend, if you're somebody that I work with and you're wrong, you should be able to tell your neighbor, look, you ain't do that right. Yeah. Another thing is, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm agreeing with you.
I was like, I feel like people don't believe, even if you don't believe in the Bible, right? People say, what goes around comes back around, karma, etc. So, and the Bible talks about reaping what you sow. So therefore, like, if you're gonna love your neighbor, that'll come back to you. So if you see somebody on the street and they got a sign up and they're saying, I'm hungry, even if in the back of your mind you feel like, oh, that could be a cap, or oh, they've been out here every single day. Okay, well, their struggles might not be your struggles. Your struggles might not be their struggles. But if you say you love your neighbor, then you should be willing to extend that hand and be like, look, this is all I got. I got $5. Or if somebody come and ask you like, hey, can I hold $3? I got $5. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Because those things come back around, and when you do good things, then you get blessed even more abundantly.
Yep.
So that's how I always look at it. At first, I used to be like, man, these folks always on the street. But then I realized, the Lord talks about giving charity and giving back to those who don't have, because he's here for them. So, that's just something to think about, and making sure you put yourself in their shoes. And, it can be hard sometimes trying to love your neighbor, because especially when people do you wrong, when people like cross you, or they feel like, or you feel like, dang, back in the past, this person did this, that, and the third, and now they need your help. It shouldn't be that. You know what I'm saying? You should still be willing to be like, okay, yeah, you did me dirty. I won't forget, but I forgive you, and I still love you. And here, if I can help you in any way, I can. So yeah, that's just my takeaway on my opinion on it.
I love it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I think another thing to add to what you say too is being able to forgive. You touched a bit on it. It's being able to forgive, because a lot of people feel like, I'm supposed to cut off this person and, not supposed to talk to them because they did this to me. Imagine if God did it to us. Because he has a lot of reasons not to do certain things for us, but yet he still do. So loving your neighbor, as he even says, we're supposed to love our neighbor more than we love ourselves.
Right.
So it's being able to, forgive that person, being able to, yes, I'm not saying to forget what they did,
right,
but forgiving them is realizing, hey, yes, they did this to me, but I'm not going to hold this against them. Nobody's perfect. And I choose to, put our differences aside and move forward with it.
I agree. I also feel like too, like, I feel like I'm a firm believer that God did not put Adam and Eve on the earth and tell them to be fruitful and multiply for us not to love each other. Like, why would he put extra people on here for us to just waste space on the earth? No, we got the duty of trying to do right. Like, we already messed up in the beginning, so now we're trying to make it right. So when he comes back, we have those godly components that he was looking for in the beginning, and we just shine. You know what I'm saying? And some people look at that like, oh, but they did me so dirty. Okay, yeah, they did. But how are you going to be the bigger person and love them back?
Exactly. And then on top of that, we live in a world where people are imperfect. Like I said earlier, you're going to come into a lot of people who's not going to be in alignment with the path you're on. So you're going to have a lot of people that, may do you dirty, may do you wrong. So you're going to tell me that you're going to just cut off all of those people, when in turn, God may be using these same people to then help you along your journey. Imagine you cutting off everybody, or, stop talking to everybody who does you wrong. Then how are you going to be helped along your path?
Right. I agree. 100%.
Yep. So moving right along into round 2 of the game.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, let me know when you're ready and we can move on.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, we got a lot of crowns in here. So
she's the artist of the song.
She looks so familiar, and I do not know her name.
That's Tasha Cobbs.
Oh, Take Me to the King?
No.
Oh, I have no idea. I like Tasha Cobbs, but I don't listen to all of her stuff. I have no idea. I don't know.
Time up.
And the fact that I said that this is my avenue, LOL. Okay.
This one is called Royalty by Tasha Cobbs.
Okay, see, I would have never figured that out. That's all right. I still got 1 point.
Yes, still 1 point. You still have more rounds to go. So, you know. But moving right along, talking about your neighbor, talking about forgiving, talking about imperfect people in this world. Mm-hmm. We know that loving your neighbor is not always easy. Some people are very hard to love and to truly love, because you have some persons that just try to take advantage of you. Some person that just don't have a conscience. Mm-hmm. They just go about this life just doing anything to people. So can you tell me about a time where you found it hard to practice loving your neighbor?
Oh yeah, I got plenty of those. But one that kind of stuck out to me in particular was my junior year in college. I was an RA, and if you don't know what RA is, it's a resident assistant. So essentially you're over all the other residents in the dorm. Mm-hmm. And I had worked so hard to get to that position, because when I first started college, it was a lot going on. My parents were going through a divorce. The room I stayed in, I shared it with someone else. And needless to say, because the person probably gonna see this and be like, for real. But there was nothing wrong with staying in the room with her. But I wanted my own space, and I couldn't have that because, things were not right at the moment. So I did everything I could to work hard to get that position, so that way I could have my own space. Mm-hmm. And sophomore year, I ended up getting it. The Lord blessed me with that, and with the Hope Scholarship. And then junior year came around, and everything was going smooth. But then it was a girl that I essentially went to high school with that did not like me at all. That's another story for another day. But she didn't like me, and we ended up going to the same college together. Now, needless to say, I thought we had squashed the beef when we first got to the college, because everything was cool. We was chatting and everything. Like it seemed like everything had finally smoothed over. It was nothing else going on. Until one day, I just so happened to meet up with one of my friends, and she was like, the resident director, which is over the RAs, are going to end up calling you in the office. So I'm looking like, hold on, what did I do? Like, I don't understand what's going on. And so they were like, oh, they said they'll talk to you once you get back. Because that weekend I was leaving, and I was going with her to her mother's 50th birthday. So I'm thinking everything cool. And we get there, and her sister basically, fast forwarding, but her sister basically antagonized me and was like, so you the one that did blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, oh, I thought we left that back in high school. Like, I mean, technically it's not my fault. It's really your sister's fault, but we're not going to take it there. Like, we're going to leave it where it was at back in high school. But it made me feel really uncomfortable because, like I said, I thought we moved on from that, and we're bringing that back up, which means you're talking to your sister about me, and you haven't discussed anything with me if we're supposed to be friends. Mm-hmm. So, needless to say, fast forwarding, that weekend, it kind of opened my eyes about her, and I didn't really want to fool with her like that anymore. Mm-hmm. Well, I got back to school. And my RD ended up calling me in the office, and she was like, hey, like, we need to talk. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, actually, I need to run upstairs and do something real fast. I'll be back. Well, before I could even make it downstairs, my friend that told me that they were going to call me in the office was like, look, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you now. Sister girl went in there and told them that you called her mother and was threatening her, saying that you want to, like, hurt her, and that your mother called and said she wants to hurt her too. And I was like, girl, what? Like, I keyed at it, because I was like, ain't no way. Like, I'm not that type of person. My mother never gets involved with kid stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm looking at her and said, are you serious right now? She was like, yes. I was like, girl, you know my mama does not get involved unless it's something detrimental, like, you know, they trying to kick me out of school or something. And so she was like, oh, I know, but that's the lie she told her. So now I'm heated because I feel like you really provoking me. You provoked me at your house with your sister. Then you're provoking me again with trying to get me to lose my job. Because anything, if the school feel like that, you know, anybody's at risk or you're trying to put a bad name on them, then they'll fire you and then you got to pay $3,000 back for your room and board. Morgan don't have that kind of money. So, so you know, I'm hot. I'm pissed. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, wow. I must have boo-boo the fool on my forehead. Like, what? And my friend was like, well, calm down. Cause you know, that's when you upset, your mind starts doing irrational things. You start saying irrational things. And at that moment, I just wanted to black her eye. Like, how dare you? So I had to bring it down a few levels. I had to pray to Jesus for a little bit. And ask the Lord to give me strength not to knock this girl out because it was coming. And just ask the Lord to like guide what I was going to say while I was down there. So that way they didn't feel like, oh, she on the fence. So she must have said, you know? So anyways, I got downstairs and they asked me, did you threaten her, this, and the third? And I told them, I did not. If you like, we can get my mother on the phone. You know, there's no need in me doing that, but I don't understand why she would have come to you and lied to you like that. But I see where I stand with her. And they was like, well, we don't believe that you did that anyways, because we know your character. And that just says a lot about a person. You got to know how to carry yourself because when people see you on the outside and they see, oh, okay, she's actually, you know, carrying herself well. She doesn't hang with, you know, the bad people, you know, birds of a feather flock together. She's not that type of girl. Then they'll look at you and they'll know, oh, she ain't about that life. She's not doing that. So luckily, my character spoke for itself, and that's what saved it. But after that happened, you know, I ended up seeing her around, and you could tell, like, she knew, oh, man, I messed up. Like, but I didn't, from there, I just didn't speak to her for a moment because I knew where my mind was at. If I would have spoke to her, then it would have been ugly. So, and I just feel like you don't have to be ugly to a person to get a point across. Take some time to yourself, get your mind together so that way you don't have to come back and apologize. And then you can address the situation. Well, time went on. And from there, like, I really forgave her and just said whatever about it. But I just know, like, you know, I know how to move with her now. Like, you know, even though stuff happened in the past, you know, I have no ill feel towards her. It is what it is. And I always feel like that's not my battle to fight. That's the Lord's. So she had to take that up with Jesus, not me. And I would not want to take it up with him at the moment. So, so yeah, that's just how I dealt with it. I definitely prayed about it. I prayed for her because I don't know what she had going on. And whatever it was, it had to be the spirit behind her. So, you know, just whatever situations you might be going through with somebody, if you feel like, you know, dang, they just really just try to play me. And I don't think I can, you know, love this person, or I don't think that I can deal with this person. Well, think about the times where you did stuff you weren't supposed to do and the Lord forgave you and gave you mercy. I mean, because he could have really just took you out last night for doing whatever you just did yesterday. So, you know, just have to show a little bit of mercy. And that's what I was basically doing. I just showed her mercy. I was like, you know what, it ain't that, life is too short to be sitting here fighting about something so stupid. Like, I don't have energy. Like, I'm busy all the time. I don't have time for this. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that because the average person would have probably beat her, then held a grudge against her. To this day, they probably would have been, you know, out together and stuff like that. But what people don't understand is forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. It's for you. Because when that person is sleeping at night soundly, you're up wondering,
mad,
hot.
Trying to figure out what's wrong with you.
Exactly. It's for you. You know, like I said, we live in a world of imperfect people. And then on top of that, she may have been going through her own situations. And so she is trying to channel that at you, not knowing that, that's not the way to go. And I like that you said that you before you even responded, you prayed about it. Because a lot of times we allow flesh to, allow us to make our initial response. Yeah. And that's where we go wrong. A lot of times that's how we create all sorts of problems for ourselves, open doors for problems for ourselves. But it's important that you allow God to direct you. Let him, calm you down first.
Yep.
And then allow him to show you which way to go, how to deal with it. Because a lot of times he don't want you to just leave it there. He needs you to go and, handle that. So I love that you said, I love that. I love that.
I also feel like too that everybody, how people say everybody's in a different season. That might have been in the season where she was going through something. And that might have been the season where God was like, I'm gonna test you and see how you're gonna move. So, and you know what? To this day, like even today, when I started my lash business, she supported me. So that's why I say, like, you just don't know what people are going through. You don't know what could be going on in their mind. And it's usually the spirit behind them that make them do that. So you can't get upset about stuff like that. And I always feel like too, like how you said, always allow God to direct your path. Don't call the person that gonna be like, oh, go cuss her out, girl. Go ahead, whoop her head. Like, no, that is the wrong thing to do. Because in the end, there's two things that's gonna happen. One, you still not gonna be over it. And two, you just wasted energy.
Exactly.
You just wasted so much energy that you could have put somewhere else. So
that's powerful. Yeah. So we're moving right into round 3 of the game.
Let's go. Oh, Lord Jesus. Let it be something crazy.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, we got seas or oceans.
Hillsong is the artist of the song.
Hillsong is the artist. Yep, I already don't know this one. Okay.
But you said the answer earlier.
Sea?
No.
Ocean.
That is the answer.
Girl, wait.
Where feet may fail, spirit lead me where my trust is.
You want to send me that one because I do not know that song.
Oh, what? I definitely have to send you that.
I'm sorry. To be honest with you, if it's not something like, I'm trying to think. If it's not something that was like Kirk Franklin or Dietrich Haddon or Mary in that era, like I do not know it. I know the girl that sings "Won't He Do It." I know that one, but anything else, LOL.
All right, so moving right along, we've talked about, forgiving, being able to forgive our neighbor and friends and stuff like that. Why is it so important for us to love our neighbor? Why is it so important for us to forgive and to turn the cheek and all of that stuff? Why is it so important?
I think for one, it's very important because one, God told you to do it. Two, it cuts back on a lot. Like think about a time when you were really upset at somebody and how that weighed on your emotions, how it had your blood pressure high, how you couldn't sleep, how every time you see this person, you felt like you despised this person. It took a lot of energy, right? And you put it elsewhere. So I just feel like turning the cheek or loving your neighbor is so important, because where would we be without each other? Like, we really put our minds together to do amazing things. We got the Zoom calls, we got buildings being made, we got businesses out here. Like, you think you did that by yourself?
Nope.
It's so much going on, like that. You to hold a grudge or to not forgive somebody and move forward is a lot. And if you can sit here, if you're watching this and you can sit here and be like, oh, I can hold a grudge. You don't. Yeah, okay. When you go to bed at night, I want to see you try to sleep. Like, but also I think about stuff too on the level of depression and anxiety, how that stuff can trigger it or how it can make it even worse. Like, you're already trying to get over the hump of, speaking for myself, because I don't know everybody's situation, but speaking for myself, of trying to hold a grudge against somebody with anxiety, it makes me have even more anxiety. And then, it makes it even harder for me to get over a hump. But, with me trying to fight it, and it's a mind thing. And, I always feel like when you hold grudges or when you have an issue with somebody and you don't go to that person and speak to them about it, you're allowing the devil to win. You're allowing him to win when you should be winning the battles. You should be like, you know what? I got an issue with A, B, C, and X, Y, and Z. Let me go talk to, this person about how they made me feel. And then the other person should be an active listener, not responding to what they just hear, but listening and, receiving that and being like, okay, let's talk about it. So that's why I feel like loving your neighbor is so imperative. And, knowing that at the end of the day, regardless of what happens, you can overcome any situation and be like, okay, we can move forward. And whether I, like what you did or not, I might not kick it with you now, but I still love you. I still love you in Christ. You stay over there, I'm stay over here. And if you need something, I got you if I got it. So that's just my takeaway from it.
Yeah. I think another thing too is, if we would have touched on it earlier, you have a lot of imperfect people walking around here going through so many things there, and they don't know how to channel that energy or channel those emotions into positive things. And so because they don't know how to channel that, they allow their emotions to just run wild. And one of those things being, taking advantage of people, or just all around doing wrong things to people. And so it's important that you, as the person that know better, as we all say, if you know better, you do better. Okay. Sometimes it's good to extend that grace to that person, because you may be the very one that saves their lives. Because you never know, if they continue on with the behavior, you never know where it could turn out to. But if you're you're the bigger person that knows better and is willing to do better, you can possibly change their life, help them to understand why they're doing what they're doing, help them to channel that energy into something else, help them to, contain their emotions and possibly stop being a menace to society.
That goes back to, everybody's in their own season. Like, some people are in their winning season, some people are in their sad season, and the book talks about that, how everybody's in different seasons. There's sad season, the grieving season, the happy season. It doesn't matter. But whatever season a person is in, like you said, you be the light and be the bigger person and show them how to walk, because you could very well be the stepping stone for them, or you could be the fumbling block for them. So if they see you doing the same thing that they doing, they like, oh, and God forbid you say you're a follower of Christ and you doing contrary to what the book say, and they see it, oh, it's over. So you already know. So, just understanding too that it's so much more to the love part than, saying, I just forgive you. It's so much more to the love part than just saying, I'll give you $5 because I got it. Like, it's more to it. You got to be willing to actually show that love. When I say love, I mean LOVE, love. Not no, I'll give you a heart and I love you. No. What would you lay down your life for your friend?
Mm-hmm.
If they called you at 4:00 in the morning and they're crying their eyes out, are you gonna tell them I'm asleep and call me later? So it's just more to it than that. And like I said, it's been plenty of times I've called friends and either they don't answer, or it's been times where they have answered, but they say goofy stuff like, oh, go slap her, or oh yeah, girl, you know, I wouldn't, that you better than me. You know, that's a shade comment. So, you know, just being able to understand that once you hold on that comment, if you know how to love God, if you know how to really love God, and I'm talking about go on a date with him to figure out what it is he like, then you'll know how to love somebody else.
Yep.
Period.
Very true.
Period.
Very
if you know how to love
true.
him, and there's so many components to the love with him, you'll know how to love somebody else. And somebody else will know how to love you.
That is perfect. That is perfect.
It's that simple.
Perfect. That is the perfect way to end that. That is perfect.
You already know.
That is perfect.
Jesus is your friend.
Yep. Very true. Very true. So we're moving into the final round.
Oh, let me put my thinking cap on.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, Kurt. We got a lot going on right here. We got Kurt, we got Mary, we got, why can't I remember this bald head man name?
Tyrese.
Tyrese.
All of them are doing one thing. Kurt Franklin is the artist of this song.
I smile.
Yes!
I told you my God is working, so I smile. Yes.
Yes. What a great way to end it off.
Period. Get at me. I didn't know one, but that's okay.
Yes, you redeemed yourself. You have 3 out of 4 points.
You need to play a trivia game for real with the gospel.
Yes. Well, that's the end of our episode. Morgan, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you so much.
Of course. I'm glad I could actually make it and give some words of wisdom if I did.
Yes, you did. Is there anything that you would like to promote?
Not at the moment. I would say my lashes, but that's on hold because I've been really busy with trying to get into school. So I will ask though, that everybody just kind of keep me in their prayers with trying to get into this program. It's definitely been a roller coaster, and I definitely feel like Satan don't want me to win, but guess what? I'm gonna win. Period.
Period.
Just keep me in your prayers.
Well, I do want to send you well wishes, and I will definitely keep you in my prayer. Listen, God says he has a plan for us, and it is good and perfect.
Yes, it is.
So I strongly believe that he has your back on that.
For sure.
Well, with that being said, thank you, Royals, for tuning in. See you next week, same time, same place. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications. Follow both Mo and I on all our social media platforms in the description below. Until then, remember, you are royalty. So walk like it, talk like it, dress like it, show up like it, and wait for the godly man that treats you like it. See you next week.